generic Discord before. Yep. Someone just invited me into a new NFT drop yesterday. You just remind me, I have to hurry up and get my wallet address to them. I'm thinking about changing up my picture too. Who else? We got the room's filling up. We've got a minute. Oh, there's Atomic on stage. Welcome. Yay. Musashi is here too. Guru Shot,
Hey
welcome.
guys.
P-Ball, Willow Martin, good to see you again. Crazy Town, welcome back. One Odd Gent, hello again. Deadweight, yes. Just give it another minute for a few more people to show up as the group continues to grow. Crypto Yami, welcome back. Moveless, that's cool. Clumsy. The Captain. At some point, we maybe should think about having a, maybe at the next Galaverse, whenever we do that, some sort of get everybody togetherness, sort of group event or something, meetup, something like that. The Best Waifu, welcome. Siglarg. Silarg? What is that? Silarg. If you're in chat, share what that means or where that comes from. It's an interesting word there. Nice pictures there, everybody. Crypto Yami, I see you there. Willow. Well, we hope so. We hope the AMA is going to be extra amazing. Nothing like setting expectations high. We do try to, always share cool and interesting things, and actually just share the stuff we're doing. And I've shared this with the team. If we're sharing stuff that isn't cool and interesting, maybe we ought to review what we're doing to make sure what we're doing is actually cool and interesting. Although there is sometimes what I think Rheosaurus calls chores we have to do, right? Yeah, sometimes some of the work isn't all that glamorous. Getting the back end up and running, getting authentication going. Those aren't some of the cooler, spicier, fun visuals, but they're absolutely necessary. All right, so
even if it's not extra amazing, I'm already feeling pretty inspired by this Trolls costume I just saw.
Really?
The Trolls Vox costume. Maybe I need to change my Halloween costume this year.
Oh goodness, look at that. All right, so Michelle, why don't you kick us off and lead us, and let's go. Welcome. I'll just start. Welcome everybody. Friday, October 14th to the October 14th, 2022 to the Townstar AMA. We've got a stage full of people. Classic agenda, updates, information, leaks, and all. And I'll let Michelle take it from here.
Hey, good morning. We have a new team member on stage today who hasn't introduced himself yet. I don't know, Mysterious Peanut, if you want to introduce yourself before we get going.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for having me, y'all. I'm Mysterious Peanut. I've warned the team so many times that it's dangerous to have me on these things because I know a little bit too much. But I usually try and bring some fun energy to the team. So excited to be here and see what we come up with. Yes, I hope you know my voice, Fulcron.
What do you do? Share with everybody what you do.
Yeah, so before I talk about what I do, a little bit about me. I'm huge on the outdoors. The team actually usually makes fun of me for being on all sorts of strange adventures on the weekend. Usually backpacking, paddleboarding, mountain biking, those types of things. So I also love games. So I've played a bunch of D&D, played Zelda Breath of the Wild way too much, and also worked on a bunch of mobile games before I came to Gala. So I have a bunch of experience working in games as well, which is really fun. So a bit about what I do here, though. I've been at Gala for quite a while, and I've worked on a ton of different projects at Gala on the product management team. And no, I am not, in fact, a peanut, but I am on the product management team. And now being back on Townstar, really excited to be back working on games. I'm loving it. And it's also really cool because I've worked on a lot of the tech at Gala, able to bring that experience to the team as well. For me, this Townstar community is super fun. I love seeing what you all come up with. So really excited to be a part of that. And because I really want to start off strong, I kind of want to steal a leak from Mal. October tends to be my favorite month of the year. It's the month of my birthday. It's the month of Halloween. It's just beautiful with fall. So with that, we've been planning some spooky surprises for the month that I've been helping push the team to do. And we're going to be talking about some haunted maze pieces. And if you collect all 4, there's some extra cool utility coming your way. So I'll steal that from now. But there's this really cool haunted maze that's being built. So I'm gonna drop that in here. Get excited. There's some cool stuff coming. Any other questions for me, Michelle?
Well, we're starting the week with leaks, which is, I think, surprising.
Starting with leaks.
Starting with leaks. Yeah, there's something I was going to say. You've been in the audience, Mysterious Peanut, and actually one of the things I actually, answered one of your questions a few weeks ago, not even realizing who this is your alter ego. So super happy to have you on stage.
Yeah, I try and stay mysterious, hence the name.
Yes.
So.
Yes, good point.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting us get to know who you are. It's nice to see you on the stage finally. I hope you'll join us more often. Let's get into some updates on what happened in the Townstar Live game this week. The Halloween farmer was introduced into the game. I think it had been in previous Halloweens as well. I don't quite remember last Halloween. That was a very long time ago. But for sure the Halloween before, we had the Halloween farmer. He got a speed boost also, so he will walk faster than a tractor. So it will be best to just keep with the farmers for this nice jack-o'-lantern meta that we've got coming up. The other big update I think we had this week was the clouds were removed from the global map during Land Rush, which is absolutely fantastic because those things really did get in the way a lot when you were trying to pick a spot on the map. And it's so nice to not see the clouds there anymore. And I'm sure everybody else also feels the same way. Yeah.
There's already some response to that. Look at that. Yes.
Wait, so people were loving the clouds is what I'm reading in chat, I think.
Yeah.
Don't take it away. Bring it back.
Rain, no clouds. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really all I've got for the Townstar updates. We do have a competition starting this Tuesday. For anybody who doesn't know, it's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be Jack-o'-lantern meta. All the details haven't been announced yet, but I know that there will be some announced later today. Probably soon.
Very soon.
Probably in the next 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, awesome.
That's all I've got for Townstar Live updates, though. Volcron, did you want to say anything about the Townstar Forever game?
Wait, what should we save that update, Volcron, until after we do Q&A? We were kind of talking about that in Slack. Volcron, are you there? Volcron, well, let's just save it then, because Volcron is silent and return to talk muted. Why don't we do the Q&A and then the Townstar Forever update? How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Volcron is blaming you for his broken mic. I love that.
I had problems with my mic when I joined also.
What? Did I do something to your mic? Did I? I don't think so.
Tech guy, look what SageMaker did to me. Oh, it's actually comically, muting is a problem on the team. So this is actually not that surprising. We really like to, when somebody is in a meeting and you just really feel the need to mute them, you can just press the mute button on Google Meets, and it's quite hilarious.
Yeah, sorry, Volcron. I was just trying to click your name to see if you were online still. My error. Let's go into the Q&A. Let's go to Q&A.
All right. The first question we got in the Q&A this week, I'll take the answer for and the question for. Is it allowed to have, for example, a Scholar account or account that is used by someone other than yourself? And the answer to that is no. It is against terms of service to share accounts or have a scholarship account that does not belong to you that you're using. We are starting to look into removing those towns and those accounts. So if you are running an account that is not your account, I suggest you get your own account and play on your own account, because we are removing scholarship accounts from rewards. I know that that people have been saying lately that we're not addressing the issues of people sharing accounts and having more than one account, and we are addressing them. If you think that there is something wrong, definitely put in a ticket and we can look into it. That is happening. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. We are going to be rewording the rules a little bit. They're not going to change so much, but there are also a lot of issues with people who are running scripts that are getting flagged, and it's not that we're falsely flagging people, but the scripts are interfering with the ledger of truth and with the watchdog. So if you are running a script and it does something like rotate your express depot, for example, which is something that is not a part of the game, that will flag the system and you will end up being removed from rewards. It may not necessarily be cheating, but because of the way the game works and the way the systems work, that will result in you being removed from rewards, just because that's how it works. So I would definitely just be extremely careful if you are running a script, which I do not support, that you're doing it in a way that is not going to end up getting you removed. There's a lot that also add buttons that don't normally exist. There's some that have change server buttons that are in weird spots. And if you click on that button, it may not recognize that you even changed servers on our back end because it's not a part of the game. So all these things can result in you being removed from rewards.
So like you said, what I like is, and just I'm going to jump in here quick. The team has had several meetings about this and trying to get clear on the rules that we have, share it out with everybody so that everybody knows what's going on. And so we're taking this really, really serious. And Michelle's been leading the charge on that. So, Michelle, do you know when we're going to share those rules out?
I'm hoping early next week to have them finalized on the wording, and then we'll get them published to the support.gala.games website.
Okay. And then there's a question I think it's particularly relevant. I know we kind of talked about it. Ed777 said, "What if others in your house play?"
I mean, as long as everybody in your house, it's the same rule as it was before. Everyone has to have their own computer and their own account. If everyone's accounts are their own names and email addresses, there shouldn't be any problem at all. It doesn't look weird to us if it's multiple people. If you are someone who has 6 accounts at your house and it's the exact same email for all 6 accounts, that's likely going to look a little weird. But if everyone has their own accounts and everybody is playing on their own devices, there's no reason to be worried about it at all.
That's cool. Now, there's another question that came up from S2 Anna S2, Ren Production Monitor. I know that was one of the other questions we were going to touch on. You want to jump onto that?
The production monitor is definitely coming along really well. It's not in the game yet, but it is starting to get coded in, so we are working on it. I don't have any updated images, but I will definitely try to get one for, I don't know, early next week. Maybe I'll see if I can get one from the team, and we'll get that shared. But it is coming along really well, and it definitely will be in the game, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I am so excited.
Cool.
The only
Let's
other
go
question,
through the next questions. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the only other question that I had that I saw in the Q&A that I wanted to answer was someone was asking about bringing back the weekly competition. I feel like it's been a while since anyone has asked, which is weird that it got asked again. But I know we do have a lot of new people here, and for the time being, there will not be weekly competitions. We are going to stick with bi-weekly. That is how it's worked properly with our release schedule and the way everything is going. So just for the time being, until we get onto the Godot game engine into Townstar Forever and we get a different cadence, the different types of competitions, we're going to stick with this bi-weekly. And that's how it's going to go. And that's all I've got.
Good answer. What other questions did people ask this week?
The next question is, will the upcoming Halloween NFTs be available for credit card purchase?
All right, I can take that one. What did you all think of credit card purchases? I'm curious. I've seen a bunch of positive response in chat for the most part, but wanted to hear from you all. Is there, what did you think? I see Mr. Potty Mouth says yes. Love credit card purchases. Cool. Dead weight. Scary. Scary. um,
Yes on
Cool.
cards, nice. Debit is good, credit is bad. Oh, that's just a financial
I
statement. Okay.
don't know about that, but I'm not going to comment. Cool. So yeah, so what I've seen is that response to credit cards has been really positive, which is awesome to see. Because it did take a bit of work for us to get it developed and integrated, and so it's cool to see when we develop something and there is that positive response. Always great. I do think that credit cards are kind of cool. It does open the ability for more people to purchase, especially maybe people that haven't planned ahead and acquired town. People knew the ecosystem. It can sometimes be hard to gather town. So I think credit cards are good. What I want to call out though is that something I've seen is town still valuable in the ecosystem, and in the future we're thinking there will be items that can only be purchased in town. So town's still going to be valuable for unique things, and it's going to be a really important part of the Townstar Forever economy. So town continues to be an important thing, but we think that credit cards is something that kind of opens up the ecosystem more, and it's something that a lot of people like. So for the time being, we think we're going to keep using it. Obviously, these are the types of decisions that can always change. So that's definitely not to say that it's here to stay, but it's something that we're going to keep looking into and hearing from you all what you think. But for now, the response has been pretty darn good, so I think we're going to keep it that way. Yeah, any other thoughts, SageMaker?
I was just going to say, I'm watching the feed go through there. Absolutely, town is still super critical for the economy. And you guys know we've talked about, we got the new Townstar Forever economy model through the first legal review. We're in the process of running simulations on it, and we're going to be writing up the light paper on it very, very soon. Once that gets reviewed, we'll be able to share it out with everybody. And I think you guys are going to see, you'll finally get to see that all the stuff we've been saying about, yes, NFTs are, your current NFTs will be valuable going forward. Yes, town will be important part of the ecosystem going forward. You'll be able to see that we are indeed walking the talk. So I'm excited to share that. And I think you called it out exactly there. A mysterious peanut that credit cards does open the ecosystem for other people. And I think that's, if we kind of step back a minute out of Townstar itself and think about the Web3 ecosystem, moving the world forward into this new paradigm of transactions and financials, and owning your own assets, getting a credit card on-ramp there is a big step for a lot of people. So I think it's a good place to be. And we're going to still, like you said, we're going to keep experimenting with it. So. CC is not
great.
Crypto, Blue Wolf. Yes, CNC is not crypto, but it can it's an on-ramp into the crypto world, the Web3 world.
Keeping up with this chat is hilarious. How did we get to I want a Townstar hoodie?
Yeah, there we go. Right. What's next, Michelle?
Yeah, the next question. Let's see. I feel like you all answered multiple questions, so I had to reorganize things on this list of questions.
Okay.
The next question I have here, is there a plan to sell individual tree farms, same as with the paved roads?
I think we all know the answer to that one.
That's a yes, isn't it?
It's definitely a yes.
So.
Yeah, so the tree farms, we had always planned to sell them as individuals at some point. So the plan is to probably sell those as individuals starting sometime in November. We have a lot of really fun stuff planned for October. So we've been focused on that, but we know that tree farms are incredibly useful part of the game. People will want individuals. So we'll definitely be releasing a single version of those at some point in November.
Awesome. The next question I have is, why are storage NFTs not uniform in terms of rarity to storage capacity?
Yeah, so That comes from, it was originally supposed to be uncommons. They went out as uncommon for the retention. So we just decided to carry on with that. But then we started doing the Town Star Node retention NFTs. And there was also the thing around the Dragon Main 25, so they store 25. So yes, they are a little bit wonky in that respect. And the utility-only storages will store more than the previous invasions would, as they are utility-only, so they have a bit more storage in. So that's why they're different there.
Awesome. The next couple questions I have are design questions. The first one is, can you tell us what advantage there will be to having subgrid placement of buildings? It's a 64 by 64 layout, right? Why should each building not be dead center? By having them subgrid, does that mean we can get more than 64 by 64 in a town?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that. Great question. And we showed some graphics, some screenshots, and some of the stuff that Volcron shared in videos can kind of give you a visual idea of this. I'll describe the more sort of logical approach to it. When you look at Townstar right now, and your point is there's a grid square, and the house is right in the center of it, okay? And there's 16 by 16 of those grid squares. Well, we know we're going to increase it to a 64 by 64. But then if you look at it, we think about that grid square where the house is in the center. Wouldn't it be cool now if you could shift that house back a bit so it's on the back of that grid square, and then maybe place a tree in front of it? Or maybe if you'd like to get to, push it more to the one side or the other, for whatever reason, for decorating, for precision, for creating your town to be more of an expression of you. So that's the way to think about the subgrid square placements. It's really just the ability to customize your town a bit more, decorate it the way you want it to be, and it's also if you want to get even more precise on how you lay things out. And that's the long and the short of it. You'll get to see, I think, when it's in there and people get to play with it, how every town will look just a little bit different, and that's a special thing, I think.
I will say that I
Michelle,
do love gardening and I do love bushes and things, so I'm pretty excited to be able to decorate around my farmhouses.
Yeah, you know what? You just raised another point which we haven't talked about. We've mentioned before. More decorations, right? So the idea of you want to make your town look a little spicy, cool, fun, happy, whatever you want to do, get some flowers, plant them around your houses, just plant them next to the sides of the roads, those kind of things. So it'll be cool stuff. And I know that it's hard to see because there's not a lot of just there's no just pure decoration pizzas in Townstar right now, right? So adding the whole decorations idea and subgrid placements become even more obviously fun.
I'd like a
hopefully the
giant
flowers that I
fly trap.
plant in Townstar forever will survive longer than the plants that I grow in real life, because those don't do so long most of the time.
Oh, that's the benefit of having an online town or online farm. What were you going to say, Mal? You started saying something, Mal.
Yeah, that delay always gets me. I was going to say I definitely need a one of those big Venus flytrap plants. I think those are cool. One of those big bulbs on them, big massive mouth. Yeah, gonna need them cool decorations.
I like this
look,
comment
Willow
in
Martin
the chat.
jumped right in there.
The
What's
comment in the chat. Can you make a credit card that gives you town rewards? That's pretty good.
Interesting.
But no, I think decorations are super exciting. I know we've already been having a lot of fun on the team thinking about that. So this is really cool.
Ash Riprock says, "No happiness in competition, please." Is that like that thing from that movie, No Crying in Baseball? What's next, Michelle?
But the next section that I have here on our AMA is just to see if Musashi wants to talk at all about any of the design stuff he's been working on.
Hey, yeah, so I can touch a little bit on that. I'm a little worried about leaks, though. I'm not too good at knowing when to stop, so please mute me like you did Voltron if anything happens.
Okay, I got my finger on the button like they do in live TV. There you go.
Definitely. We've been working on mainly progression. So we want to figure out how to include progression in the game so that specifically for the persistent mode, right? We want the experience to be longer to attract more users and so on. So we're looking at player progression. So you guys will have basically a profile that levels up, and that will open up new features and new things that you can do once you reach certain levels. But the interesting thing is that we're looking at buildings and even workers progressing. And please don't take any of this I'm going to say as set in stone yet. But some of the parameters that we're looking at are things like crop generation speed, right? So your wheat takes X, and if you upgrade that wheat, it may take less time and less time, right? It can increase the crop yield, right? So maybe it yields one wheat, and after you reach level whatever, right, it can yield two, right? Things like that. We want to allow buildings to have more worker capacity. So not stuck with one farmer, but maybe at the option to have two or three. And that will be unlocked through levels. And a bunch of other things that I don't go into too much detail, things like storage capacity and so on. And for the workers, well, there are a bunch of things that we can improve, right, through leveling up. Things like movement speed, carrying capacity. Like if your super wheat now yields two, you probably want a farmer that can hold two, right? So that's one way that we're looking at the game to extend gameplay, specifically for persistent mode, and to create some new design spaces for competition, right? Where you have to be very mindful of levels too in certain instances to optimize your time. So I think that's really cool. Things that you can see your town improving little by little uh, by being smart about how you upgrade your stuff, your buildings, and your workers. Right? So that's a
Yeah, I
little
want
bit
to jump in,
what we've been working.
Musashi.
Mhm.
Let's just jump in. I think we could talk about that example that you shared there, but as we were conceptualizing it, the idea of your wheat now generating two wheats instead of one, right? And
Yeah.
if you have a farmer who's going to go collect it, he would walk up to that wheat field, and what would happen? So if it's now growing two instead of just one, and he only has capacity for one, right?
Well, yeah,
He'd pick up one and go ahead.
he picks one up, and the other one's is left there. So it's an opportunity cost, right? That's there for you to either pick it up with a second farmer or upgrade your farmer to be able to be stronger, well, too. So those are the kind of things that we're looking at, like opening up a lot of space and for you guys to be really smart about, oh, how do I optimize this? Where do I invest uh, my cash or my crafts to improve certain things? Um, so there are two ways there, right? You can either improve your farmhouse so that you can get a second farm, and they can both go and each one grab one wheat, or improve your farmer so he can grab two at the same time, right? So I don't know if this sounds interesting to you, but I love it. Like, this is exactly what I've been doing for years and years in mobile games, creating these progression systems. Uh, and we're looking forward to bring some of that experience here and proven mechanics into Downstar. Did I link too much? No, right?
No, I think that's great. I think that's great. What do you
Well,
guys
I
think?
think that's really great.
I didn't get muted, so I think that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading through some of the chat there. Hopefully you guys can sort of catch that, just the idea that now your crops can level up. So you get like a level 1 wheat, level 2 wheat, level 3 wheat. And then also that means more I don't know, more puzzle to solve, more equations to figure out. Do you want one farmer, two farmers, three farmers, or do you want to have a level 3 farmer? Or just one of them. So there's some good gameplay there. I want to. Anybody got any questions about this before we move on?
There's one question I saw in the chat that was talking about, like, I'm not hearing anything about competitions. Like, this is really meant to be, for the persistent mode and progression and leveling up and getting better. And some of that will carry over into competitions, but in no way does that replace competitions. And I think we've said this, so many times, so it might be a broken record, but it's like competitions are still going to be incredibly important in the new Townstar. But there's going to be so much more that's enabled by this new game that we're building. So I just want to call that out, that seems like a question, but nobody should be concerned that that's not going to in some way promote and make better competitions, but also that it opens up the gameplay for this persistent type of mode as well.
Well, I think that's a good point. Like, I look at the comment, like, oh, we haven't talked about competition mode. We have talked about the previous AMAs, and the thing that you guys gotta know is that you're gonna have at least what you have, but we are opening up the space so you can have way more options for types of competitions, more objectives, more goals, different ways to earn points. So you'll at least get what you have, which I think it's great.
Yep.
And
you're right.
Also
you guys said it right.
Something for your time as well. If you're playing for months and months and months, it's nice that, when you do go into these things, you do have these things that carry over, or maybe not carry over, but at least when you come back to your game, the hours that you've put in previously, can help you in future.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've only put in a couple hours, right?
Say that again?
You only put in a couple hours into Townstar, I'm guessing.
What?
4 or 5.
No?
I'm checking.
I couldn't hear what you said. Sorry, I was confused. But you said no hours into Townstar.
All right.
Michelle, what's next?
That's all I have for questions. Are we going to move into Volcron's Townstar Forever updates? Is he ready?
I think. You ready, Volcron?
I have one more update I can give before
Go for
Volcron
it.
hops in. So one of the things we've been working a lot as well that I'm always seeing people comment about is, what are we doing with the Townstar economy? I just want to say that, we've been putting in a lot of thought recently into where the Townstar economy is going. And we're in the final stages of creating actually a Townstar economy white paper. So that should be, we're reviewing it internally. We're going to be running everything by legal now that it's getting close to finalized and making sure that everything's set. But I think just wanted to call this out here that, we are really focused on the Townstar economy right now. We're working on that white paper, and we're really excited to be able to share that with you all soon. So just want to throw that out there.
You guys all hear that, right? The economy is coming. I know, because everybody asks it every week, right? Yes, as soon as we can get there. White paper equals accountability.
I want to comment on that comment. White paper does equal accountability, but this team, we're holding ourselves accountable to so many different things, which is seeing this every week, being on the Townstar AMA. Obviously, I'm new to the AMAs, but the fact that we're in here sharing with you all what we're doing every week, and that we're really telling you about the game that we're building and showing you the progress as we go, I think that's accountability. Anybody can create a white paper, and we've seen that with a lot of crypto projects. Not only are we creating that white paper, but we're doing all the other things to make sure that we are accountable. So I want to say that what we're doing is more than just white paper equals accountability, but I think that you're right, that being able to see that is going to be really cool.
Function economy, yes. Ed 777, yes. that is what's taken. I don't want to say taken so long. It's what we've been focused on. Make sure we get right. I see a lot of people saying basically when new economy, as soon as we can, guys, as soon as we can. We want to share the reality when we have it. We just got to cross the T's and dot the I's, get through it. Are we ready, Volcron?
I think
didn't
he's
hit the
still
mute button this
having
time.
mic issues.
See, it's not I. It is not I that has caused this my problems. Volcron. Volcron. No, we can't hear you. I'll jump in there. Ed77, the honors we were promised weekly Townstar AMAs a year ago. Well, hey, cool. We're doing it now. I think we've done it every week since July. So this is a real good opportunity for us to do it. And you know, like Mysterious Peanut says, we are holding ourselves to an accountability level. You guys have heard us say this again and again. We're not going to make promises that we are not already and just a step away from keeping. So whether that's sales, or that's feature announcements, the economy, so all of that is absolutely real. Just the idea is to walk the talk. Okay, so Volcron jumped out. Maybe he's rebooting. Maybe we can jump to the next section there, Michelle. And when Volcron jumps back in, we can catch up with all the cool stuff he has to share.
Well, we can either talk about the Halloween NFTs. Mal can jump in and talk about the jack-o'-lanterns if he wants.
So,
Let's do that.
well, I mean, we could talk. It depends. We doing? I just don't know which leak to give you first, to be honest. Is Volcron going to fix it? I don't know if Volcron's going to fix it. Ah, there he's back now. I'll let Volcron go.
Yay.
Yeah, sorry, I was user error. All right, Mal, do you want to go, or you want me to go on to Townstar?
You go. You go, Volcron. You go first.
Thank you. Thank you for being patient. Yeah, the video from last week is still in the pinned messages. Anybody who hasn't seen that, it's pretty cool. And as for this week, a lot of the tasking has been going on as the game design is coming together and getting finalized on a lot of the features. So let me real quick make sure I've got nothing too top secret in here. The first that's kind of interesting is pulling in the town coin support into the game. So when we're playing here on our staging servers and stuff, we can see our town balances. We're doing some level up mechanics for the XP bar and some of the things that may imply. And little UI tweaks as well. I say little, but it's just such an important part of the game. You know, like for example, in the store, when you click the little info button, now you have info on behind the panels about what each store item is. Production monitor finished question. Not for Townstar Forever. I think Michelle addressed it for Townstar Live earlier, saying it's work in progress, right?
Yes.
And okay. And then there's some, let's see, another finished task on tying workers to their home buildings. So the reason that's important is as the buildings and the workers level up, you want to know if you're going to delete a building that has a high-level worker tied to it. So had to do some of that. And then, of course, the flush mechanic, which had some surprising tech behind that. We also have our invisible pillars, some of the back-end systems, auto-scaling, load balancer, progress on that stuff. Always super interesting to see how that works. And then I know one of the things that some software projects struggle with is stability and all that. And I wanted to let everybody know that unit tests and automated testing in general is a super high priority for us. And it's not just something that like we kind of do lip service to, like we actually have that in place. So that's nice.
Can you just pause, Volcron? Hey, Volcron,
sure.
Can you pause a minute and
Yeah.
tell people about what that actually means, unit test and automated testing?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I probably don't want to talk about like job titles or anything, but we have people on the team dedicated to hammering away at our different parts of our game and the services that run the game to make sure that every time somebody makes a change that, well, one, they haven't broken anything new, and two, that they haven't introduced any kind of hard to catch instabilities. So as the project goes longer, we put in more and more tests, basically, to address your comment, Imp. instead of just relying on people to manually test the game all the time and hope that they got it right, or to waste their time with checklists or whatever, we automate as much of that as we can. So when devs make changes, the script is run and it's like, oh, hey, this benign change you made actually, altered this other thing. Did you know that? And then the dev has to fix it before that code can get in. So it's quality, but it's also, yeah, I guess for the most part, we would say that we would file that under quality. Is that non-techno babble enough for you? For one of the people?
I just want to make sure. I think one of the things we sometimes do as game makers was we use inside baseball term, right? And we're talking about automated testing, and a lot of people don't understand. First off, the level of testing that has to go into a game, right? Coders code stuff, and then they got to make sure it works. And then the more you code, the more systems that interact, and the more testing you have to do. And so it's really critical. And a lot of times it just involves a lot of manual labor, a lot of, just even myself getting in there and playing through sections of the game again and again, looking for problems. And so when we have automated testing or testing on small parts of the game that we can focus on, it just builds up a more stable game for everybody. And so we're really focusing on that.
Yeah, that's a great summary. And it's a balance too. It's a bit of an art. Like what do you choose to test? Because you could spend your entire life writing tests and thinking up edge cases, right? So we focus on the important stuff, stability and town data and all the database operations that we're doing. DeFi crypto, what do you mean by leveling up of buildings? I think Musashi kind of covered it, but basically, as the buildings, let's say, do things, they level up and different abilities will unlock. Is that as leak-free as I could be?
No, I mean, it's just like Musashi shared. It's like, hey, you have a farmhouse, right? And you got one farmer in it. And, upgrade it to be a level 2 or level 3 or level 4, whatever it would take. And then you get the option to have a second farmer inside of it. Or like when you have your wheat plot and you're like, great, what if we level that guy up to say level 5? Will it create the wheat twice as fast, or will it make twice as much in the same period of time? So Musashi talked about space. That's a sort of inside baseball term where we think about design space, or the possibility space, I think Will Wright calls it, or the ability to have fun interactions in the game. And so as you have, just your basic farm house, or even like a silo, and what would happen if you were to upgrade that somehow, do some extra construction on it so now it has twice the capacity. So it just creates a lot more opportunity for fun. And we've seen this before in the past, some of you guys know the games that I've made, Farmville, Cityville, and those kind of things, plus even RTS games, right? There's this sort of mechanic. This is a proven bit of fun there. That's what that means. Sorry for interrupting there, Volcron.
No,
you were on a roll.
That's great.
Want to help out.
Thank you to clarify. No, that's awesome. For anybody who wasn't in the AMA last week, I'd encourage you to look at the vid. It's got kind of cool stuff in there, the social button, the XP bar, and all that. But on the XP bar, it's kind of interesting because your account levels up, or your player levels up for your town, and that will, as you can imagine, unlock different features of the game. And this, I don't know how interesting this would be to you all, but Gala's working on a lot of games, right? And we want to make the most fun games possible, and especially Townstar. It's got the established play and all that, but how do we know for sure that people are using the features that we think are awesome? And one of those ways is through analytics, and a lot of that stays internal, but we did a lot of work on that this week and last week, and I think it's worth it. It might be interesting to players to hear how much detail goes into us analyzing, like, okay, we added a feature to the game. Did it actually get used? And, how many people used it? Like that kind of stuff. That's not too leaky, right? Like that's kind of like good stewardship of a product, I feel like. So that's been a lot of work going into that as well. And then not too many bugs, which is nice, but a couple bug fixes that I won't go into. So
Yeah, so the thing again, I just want to share with everybody, one of the really cool things you guys are doing on tech is the continuous integration and continuous deploy, right? And what does that mean? That's inside baseball talk. So that means dev. Well, why don't you share, Volker, what that means?
yeah, so that means when a dev, you're sitting at your desk, you're writing some code, and you're like, oh, this is great. I think I did a great job. And then you push it up to our server, and the code gets in there. Magic happens, and then our staging environment, we run a bunch of tests automatically. And next thing you know, everybody in the company internally, if they click the right link, can play the game. And it doesn't require a human to look at it or run scripts or anything like that. So the turnaround on features is super fast. And I guess for a story, like Monday morning, I'll come in, I'll look at our staging environment, and very often I'll see new features that people pushed in over the weekend. And it's very cool. It's very fun.
Yeah, alternatively, some other games I've worked on in the past, you're like, okay, we're going to get the build done this week. And then everybody works really hard, Thursday night and tries to integrate all the changes. And it takes hours and hours. And Friday morning, we hope to be able to load the new build with tons of new features. And then sometimes it also means tons of new bugs, right? So it's really cool. It's a kind of a, let's say, advanced level of game making. So I really love that about what you guys are doing at Townstar Forever.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's
Is
see.
that
Other
it,
than that,
Volcron?
other than that, it's just kind of minor updates that probably wouldn't mean a lot to people, like improving our client server sync, improving the persistence, and being a little more rigid about our database schema and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Is it time for Mal to talk now, Michelle? Is it that time?
Yeah, go for it.
The leaky bucket himself.
I think the people are definitely ready.
Well, we can definitely get started on some leaks then. So I was going to start with the Haunted Maze. Now, obviously, Mysterious Peanut came in and took some of that leak, which is great. He gets to introduce himself and have some leaks in it, which is very cool. So the Haunted Maze, what is it? What's going on? So this week, you're going to be seeing... How shall I explain? I want to make sure I explain it correctly this time. There's going to be 4 pieces, 4 zones to the Haunted Maze. They're going to be 1 coming next week. Why do we care about the 4? Well, owning all 4 is special. And each piece of the 4 has a utility attached. Now, there are 3 utilities attached to 4 different parts. But owning all 4 parts and placing them gets you that extra utility. And by extra utility, I think it's pretty nice as well, so let me explain. You can place these 4 parts down anywhere. They don't need to be attached together, so you can have them spread around your town, using them for their individual utilities. But if you have 4 placed down, all 4 placed down, all of the utilities they carry will double. Okay? So I'll say that again. If all 4 are placed of the Haunted Maze zones, all 4 zones are placed, all of the utilities of the Haunted Maze part doubles, and you get an extra spooky speedy buff. This, to explain the double more clearly, next week is coming Haunted Maze Zone 1. So with the Haunted Maze Zone 1 comes 3 passive nectar. It's an epic rarity. And I just want to be very clear that by double, if you add all 4, your epic Haunted Maze Zone 1 would then give 6 passive nectar. So it would double. That is what the all 4 placed buff will do when it's placed, is it will double. So your epic would then give 6 passive nectar in a 6 radius. So that's a wide radius on that. The speed boost will be for the cows and the sheep. So it'll be 25% for both of those. They get a spooky speed bonus. Yes, Anna, it's 3, 2, 1 in terms of radius, and then when doubles, it'll go from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So have I missed anything on that? So I don't think so. So you got the Haunted Maze, 4 zones. You've got the Zone 1 coming next week. Shall I do the pricing now, do you think? Or shall I just go on to the next leak and we do the pricing at the end? Do we just
I
want
think
more
before
leaks?
that, one thing I just want to call out is the art on these are super cool. So I'm excited for you all to see it.
Well, mentioning that is perfect because Todd has got it lined up to post right now in the chat.
Oh,
So I highly suggest everyone keep their eyes out because that should be coming right now.
Let's see it.
Everyone call on Todd and we get to see. There we go. So there's Haunted Maze Zone 1.
So cool.
And just remember, by owning all 4 is how you get the buff when they're placed, but they don't need to be placed together. You can have them spread around doing the different utilities. So keep a listen out for what's to come on those, but know that next week will be the Haunted Maze Zone 1 coming, which gives 3 passive nectar, epic rarity. And of course, if you do get the buff, then that doubles to 6 passive nectar, which is insane. And obviously everyone wants quicker cows, and quicker sheep's great for those blue steel builds, your uniform builds, or your wool rush. Obviously, faster cows is nice so the chickens aren't always stealing the food. Plus, you can always have less. It's all these nice things. So there's going to be lots going on this Halloween, this October, shall we say? So get excited for that. Yes, Will. That's how it'll be. So I think I've explained that one. Don't know if I've over-explained it, but I hope everyone understands.
Oh, but Mal, there's so many more leaks that you could give.
There is, but if everyone goes and looks in the announcements, they'll find even more leaks. They might even find some hints about the meta in the announcements. Maybe even a visual. Looks like people are seeing it. Did I just see a leak zone too? Not yet. Not yet. Keep an eye out for that. We got zone 1 coming. There'll be more leaks coming, so I would definitely look out. Make sure you check the announcements if you're watching this AMA later on. You will see in there the information around the meta and maybe even some more clues. I'm wondering if the silence is everyone now just reading, trying to dissect all the ratios from it. This is a new way that we've leaked. I kind of think it's fun. I just want to call that out, that rather than just typing them in the chat and dragging it out over days and stuff like that, we thought it was pretty cool to just tie some lore in, tie some stories behind it, and then sort of leak the metas or give the information on certain things via the story or fun ways like this. So let me know what you think. If you'd rather just have a plain, which you'll still get, by the way, there'll still be the usual Farmer Michelle post that'll have all the information, points, cash, all of that stuff. But the information I know you all want ready to practice your builds is in there. I will tell you now that pumpkins are buffed. Pumpkin pies are still buffed in terms of cash. So you won't have to worry on cash if you're doing the pumpkins anyway, which you will be if you're doing the meta. Eggs, no. So I know people keep asking me. The eggs have been put back to their normal rate. So no eggs.
I do have to say, Halloween in Townstar really feels like Christmas come early.
It definitely does. And these haunted maze pieces are absolutely beautiful and super cool.
Yes, the art's amazing. It's been so fun seeing that come along, and I hope everyone looks forward to it because when it's placed in game, yeah, they just look amazing when they're placed. Some great work was done on that. And yes, I think it's a special month in Townstar. It feels like I remember the last 2, and it's just always been that, we had pumpkin pie on the first one. The haunted mansions and the haunted parts came last year, which was great. So yeah, it's just nice to the third year get something special done. Have a nice Halloween, nice October month.
So should we talk about the sale of this, the price and everything now?
Yeah, can move on to that now. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna get the just to
Normally
confirm.
Top Boy. Yeah, normally Top Boy's here to do that, but I think he's
No.
out today.
Got it prepped already, just so I didn't have to scream his name a million times until he arrived. So it's going to be $340 in the store, and they're going to be $230. So there'll be $340 in the store, $230. It'll be in town, and I do not know about credit card, so Mysterious Peanut might have a better answer, but it'll be at least in town for certain.
I do think they were going to try a credit card for this one, especially from the response we got earlier in this chat. So I think we should. I'm also seeing people ask, are all four going to be the same? And I don't know, Mal. Maybe say something about that. I don't know. We don't want to give away too much information.
What's this? Where's this question?
I'm seeing them in the chat. They're saying, "Will it be the same?" Where was it?
Oh, will all pieces be the same price?
Yeah.
No, there'd be changes in that sense. Will not be the same price now.
And you also mentioned, I want to jump back to something you said earlier, Mysterious Peanut, the idea of spooky surprises coming
There
up.
will be some spooky surprises. I think we'll leave it at that for now.
Yes,
Okay.
we won't
give away too much.
No
Mal's
more.
telling me all morning, don't share any more than that. And so sorry, y'all, but
Okay,
this is Mal's fault.
got
Yeah,
it.
there's a barrier up.
So I do want to touch on that a little bit. One of the things we've been doing as a team is what I call expanding the planning horizon. When you have a live game, Townstar Live, and you're having to create content, you get on what's called the content cadence. Each week, you create new content to be released, and you guys see it go into the store. You see bugs getting fixed. You see features being added. And key to running a great live game is how far ahead can you plan and how far ahead can you think to put features and ideas and content in place. And so one of the wonderful things I love about the team is that they've already thought through all of October, and now we're starting to think, well, I mean, they thought through October in September, and now we're into November, and you're going to start thinking about December. So the spooky surprises, yeah, they're real. We won't leak them, but they are real. So look forward to sharing those with you guys over the next couple of weeks. Is there anything else? I think Atomic hasn't been, she's on stage, but hasn't said anything.
Yes, I just like hopping on about surprises. If I were you guys, I'd maybe just keep an eye on our Twitter. We're looking to do some really cool things with Gleam soon. And being October, you never know if things will get a little bit spooky. So I would just keep your eye on our Twitter.
Oh, yeah, those weren't even the spooky surprises I was thinking of. So do that too.
More surprises, more cool stuff. Yeah, I think you guys just keep watching this space, as Atomic said, and the rest of October is going to be pretty fun. Michelle, is that it? Anything else on our agenda?
The only other thing I have on the agenda to talk about is the NFT burn.
Go for it.
I'm also happy to touch on that one as well.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know a ton
go
about it,
for it.
so someone else.
Cool. So we did a burn last week. We've decided we're actually just going to burn all of them. So we're putting together the list of everything we're going to burn, and we'll be either burning that later today or early next week. So we're just going to burn everything and go from there.
Cool. Pretty straightforward and simple. I know we had some fun planned, but rather let's just get through it so we can focus on actually all the fun stuff.
That's all I've got. I think we're all set then. Unless there's any
Okay.
live questions or anything that we wanted to take or anything at all, then we're done.
Yeah, let's just check. LOL, dear God, it's just a massive bonfire. I guess you could call it that, Willow Martin. I realize that just getting through it quickly is probably the better answer than doing it one at a time. I think someone of you called out. There's 200. Does that mean we're going to do it for 200 weeks? And it started to seem a little silly to think about it like that.
I do see one question wondering if we're going to add credit card payments to NFTs that are already in the store.
So we haven't decided what to do about that yet. There's no plans for that right now, though.
Rasta Kip, any reaction to the Town Star duplicate? How's the town feeling? You know what? This question is asked throughout my career making games. How do you feel? Wish them the best of luck. We're the original. You can count on the team. Product's a reflection of the team. So just watch us, and hey, if you like your game, go play it. But I think we will. We've got a lot more going on than other people. But good luck to them.
Yeah, well, I'll just summarise this at the end, just so the people listening. That'll be 1 pumpkin, 2 wax, 2 cotton yarn, just to be clear for the meta, just for anyone who was a bit confused or maybe not understanding the English very well in the writing. So just going to repeat that: 1 pumpkin, 2 cotton yarn, 2 wax for the Jack-o'-lantern meta next week.
Jedi? NTM. What about Townstar Season 2? We got hinted at last year. All that stuff will be just rolled into Townstar Forever thinking, and we're not ready to talk about that. And again, for everybody to say, we're not ready to talk about it, it's not that we don't have ideas. We just have made a pact as a team to keep the planning and projections and thinking quiet until we're actually ready to roll it out, so that when we say it, you can count on it. Other questions? So, new Ghost Card beta keys. Great question. That's coming in the future. Well, it looks like questions are running dry a little bit. Can we get the game to automatically get into the game upon load? Also, can we get skins auto-applied?
I did
Red
about
Fox.
the skins being auto-applied this week with the Townstar Live team. We are going to look into getting the ghost cards to work again. I'm not 100% sure when that may work. We were having some issues where they were like leaving people's wallets and staying applied since they had been auto-applied. So we had to remove the auto-apply functionality for ghost cards specifically. But we will look into whatever that issue was and try to debug it and then allow them to be auto-applied again. But it may not happen right away.
Other questions? You seeing any other questions there, Michelle? So I'll jump in one. LV Postman, is Paladin still around? Yes, that's me. There was too many Paladins out there. Literally, it seemed like just a proliferation of them. Every time to turn around, there's another one, and then people started getting confused. So I went for a very unique name. And for those people who played RTS games in the past, you might remember the General's engine was the Sage engine. And so I thought that was kind of cool, a little bit of a double meaning to it. So yeah, there you go, Willow Martin. So I'm still here, still in the background, still causing chaos and mayhem, asking hard questions to the team. So again, here's a question everybody asks: when Townstar Forever? We talked about this. The philosophy, the process will be the following. We'll get the game, current state of Townstar Forever, up into a stable place. Try to do limited, let's just call it limited player looks, first looks, little testing, get people's impressions. and then go forward and roll it out wider and wider as more of the game comes together. We may start and stop, let a couple people in, let them play, gather their impressions, see how it runs, capture all the bugs and go forward. Can't talk anymore about official beta dates or alpha dates, but as soon as we can, we'll share that. You can just rest assured the team is working really hard, getting all the parts and pieces in place. Everything we've been saying, you can count on. As soon as we can tell you, we certainly will. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on stage 2. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. This was
Appreciate
fun.
Thank you.
Yes, and do a poll if you guys want Mysterious Peanut to come back. I'm sure he'd be happy to.
I'm a big data guy, so I like the poll. Everybody
let's
kick me
do
off
the
stage.
poll. Okay, kick him. Peanut must return.
So demand now, Peanut.
Oh no.
The man with the leaks,
What have I
the leaks,
done?
the information, the sales, the credit card data. Man, he's got everything.
Yeah, you can't be rolling in with intros and leaks and not expecting this.
Well, again, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. October 14th, Townstar AMA. Thank you, everybody, for coming. What we do is we try to give you updates every week, real updates, what we're doing, maybe a little bit of inside baseball terms, but just to share, because you guys are really important to us in the community. We really appreciate your support, your feedback, and going forward, we hope to surprise and delight you with all the cool stuff that everybody's doing behind the scenes. So thank you again, everybody, for coming today.